Now, Peraz has asked, "Hi Man, could you please advise us on our situation below? My wife is currently on a tourist visa for 1 year and her first entry of 3 months is expiring on the 25th of May, 2022. Is there a way to extend this, given that we did a medical for a partner visa, or must we exit the country and re-enter? We lodged the partner visa the 309 on the 17th of January. DHA requested more documents on the 31st of March, okay, and status is now further assessment, and an officer requested documents that was already provided, so there is nothing missing. I should expedite the process or just wait for the outcome. Also, in the scenario where my wife's partner visa gets approved before the 25th of May and the DHA asks us to leave the country so they can grant the visa, how long do we need to be out of the country so they can grant the visa?" Okay, so there's a few things to kind of work through here, but what I might just do is make sure that I have the timeline correct, Peraz. So I'll just go to the whiteboard. I'll just put your question in for a second, and I'll just make sure that I'm writing down the dates before I start jumping into the answer. So we've got a 309 lodged, okay? This 309 was submitted 17th of January 2022. Okay, so recently, earlier this year, that 309 was lodged. Your wife though has a visitor visa that expires. So let's say 600 is valid until, I'll just move my microphone over, the 25th of May. Okay, that's the flag. This was lodged in January. Then on the 31st of March 2022, you received a request, RFI. Okay, so firstly, Peraz, as you're watching this, the first thing I'd like you to clarify for me is when you lodged this 309, had your wife already been granted her visitor visa? So sometimes what happens is, to give you an example what this might look like, you applied for the visitor visa, was granted, and then you applied for the 309. That's scenario one. Scenario two is the other way around. You've applied for the 309 first, and then you applied for the visitor visa. So I need to know what order that happened so that I can explain options. Okay, so I'll leave that for a second, and I'll get you to answer that question, and I'll dive into the rest of your questions for now. But once I get your answer, I'll comment on that specifically. Okay, so your first question is, can you extend the visitor visa? Now that depends on a few things. If there isn't an 8503 condition, you can apply for other visas on shore. So because there's no condition that would prevent her from applying for another visa, that is one option. Option one might be to apply for a new 600 or another visa. So that's my first answer is yes, assuming there's no 8503 condition, which I'm probably going to assume there isn't. We really don't see too many no further stay conditions imposed lately, but you just don't know. But assuming that's not there, that is one option. That's the first option, is applying for another visitor visa. Okay.